Hey there, Gemini. How you doing today? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your reading for this week. Normally, this would be your bonus reading because it's Wednesday. This is just kind of the reading because I didn't get weekly readings out. I've just had I don't know. I had issues this week, but hopefully by next week we'll have this all back together. Okay. So for this week, this is the reading, I guess. Here we go for my Geminis. Let's see what you got. Okay. Oh, we're going to start this one out with, so we're starting with the Magician, followed by the King of Swords. And then we have, we got the Seven of Pentacles, okay? So this is your backstory or your recent past. Currently, I can't see nothing there. Okay, well, let's see. I don't know if that's going to help much. Anyways, currently we have you with the Devil, followed by, I've got the Three of Cups, and in the challenge position, we have the Nine of Cups. Okay, in the near future, we are looking at the King of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, there you go. All right, bottom of the deck for this reading, if I can flip it over, is actually the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so the undercurrent to this entire reading has something to do with a sense of reciprocity or a lack of reciprocity. There's definitely a situation here where there needs to be equal give and take, and that is the goal. So that's the undercurrent with whatever's going on here, okay? The card at the center of your read, so from almost every direction it's going to play into the equation, is the Three of Cups. So this speaks of, depends on how you want to look at it. I don't know if we're talking about a reason to celebrate, somebody overindulging, or the fact that there's an extra energy involved in something. We're going to have to see how they play in. It's connected, or it's right in line with the Devil, so we'll have to see how that plays in when we get there. Let's start with the recent past, or your backstory. I have the Magician and then the King of Swords. The challenge here is the Seven of Pentacles. So it feels like in the recent past you were trying to manifest. However, you were not doing it from a very balanced place. You were doing it from the King of Swords. So somebody who was being very intelligent, very intellectual, you were making all of your decisions based on intellect versus anything to do with emotion or passion, right? So you were trying to manifest from a place that was strictly from a mental situation, right? You weren't allowing any emotion or any passion to come into the fray, okay? And this is what you were manifesting from. The obstacle in this row in the recent past became the Seven of Pentacles, which is you trying to figure out what you wanted to invest in or how much you wanted to invest into whatever it was. The problem being, like I said, you're coming from a very unbalanced place. You're coming from a very much so from an extreme, okay? Which is not how we ever really want to deal with things, okay? Obviously, it left you into a situation where there was a lack of reciprocity is how it feels, which would be almost a given when you realize that you're coming at it from such an extreme angle, okay? Anyways, this is your backstory or your recent past, so it's already happened. We couldn't change it if we wanted to, but it definitely looks like you needed more balance in your recent past, okay? That's what I'll say. Okay, let's go forward from there. So where are we at currently? Currently, we have the Devil connected to the Three of Cups, and then the challenge is now the Nine of Cups. So what have you done here, Gemini? What are you doing currently? Currently, you are tied somehow to the Devil, so you have given up control of some aspect of your life, whether that be because of an addiction or an obsession, or is it because of a surge in insecurities? What do we got going on here? The Three of Cups in the next position makes me feel almost like for most of you, this is some kind of an addiction, almost like you're overindulging in something to try to numb the pain or you're trying to numb an emotion that you don't want to feel here. That's what it feels like. Feels like you're trying to stamp out some kind of an emotion you don't want to feel. It doesn't have to mean that you're doing it with alcohol or drugs. I mean, you could be doing it with working too much. Or whatever you're doing, you're trying to distract yourself from dealing with some sort of pain. the obstacle in the current situation is wish fulfillment. I mean, your wish fulfillment is not to be kept in this sort of an arena, right? Where you're constantly trying to indulge in something to try to mask some sort of healing that you don't want to do, mask some sort of pain. It's definitely lending itself to this lack of reciprocity, right? Because you can't possibly give fully of yourself when you can't accept yourself, kind of thing. So very much so a self-sabotaging type of energy is what I feel right now. Okay, let's go forward from there. What have we got in the near future? So I've got the King of Balloons, which would be the King of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and then the Queen of Pentacles. So all this has to do with the divine union, right? There's a divine union on the table, on the chopping block, wherever you want. There's a divine union here. That I don't know if this divine union has dissipated, so maybe it's ended, right? And you don't want to deal with that pain. Or possibly it hasn't ended, but you don't want to deal with going forward so that you might have to deal with pain in the future. Whatever it is, you are stopping a progression that's supposed to be a natural progression from happening here. You're inhibiting it from going forward. With the Two of Swords, you're sitting there with a blindfold on, not making decisions that need to be made. And I get why, because you're afraid you're going to get hurt. But if you're not willing to take that step forward and see what's going to happen, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like you've got everything on pause right now while you try to figure it out. I don't. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so behind the reciprocity or the Six of Pentacles, we end up with the Five of Pentacles. And then I have the Queen of Swords. So you're coming at it from this very, cold-hearted, defensive sort of a stance. Now you have the King of Swords to the Queen of Swords, and down here you have the King of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles. So to say that this is a divine union that was intended to at least serve its purpose in your life. I mean, I can't promise you it was supposed to be your forever, but it was something that you were supposed to learn from and move forward in some way. And right now it seems that you are causing everything to be sort of held back and stagnant because you've just thrown yourself into something else, some other direction, so that you don't have to deal with it. Let me see, I get 3 more and then we got to do days of the week. I have the Three of Wands, and then I have the Two of Wands, and then I have the Three of Pentacles. So Three of Wands, you're trying to look forward. Two of Wands, you're at some sort of crossroads. Three of Pentacles would speak of a collaboration. It could also just speak to the fact that you're at a crossroads because somebody allowed in a third energy, and you have to decide whether to forgive and move forward in that direction or whether to just acknowledge it and move forward in a different direction. But either way, there has to be some sort of acceptance of what has already happened so that you can move forward, no matter which path you're picking, okay? Okay, let me get days of the week out real quick. I have Thursday where I have the Five of Wands to the Hangman. So there's a ton of inner conflict that's keeping you stuck right now. Friday, we have the Queen of Cups with the Knight of Swords. You're still searching for some sort of sense of clarity, it looks like. Saturday, I have the Page of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune. No matter how it feels right now, I'm telling you this is happening for you, not to you. Yeah, you just have to accept the reality of the situation. And Sunday, I have the Two of Pentacles to the Four of Swords. You need time to heal and to try to find a sense of balance again, because that's definitely been skewed here. I mean, I can't tell you which path to pick because you have free will. You can pick whichever path you want, but you have to find a level of acceptance of what has happened before you can actually move forward, is what it looks like. It's almost like you're trying to stand Lulu a little bit because you don't want to accept the reality of the situation, is what I see here. All right, Gemini, that's what I have for you this week. No matter what the cards say, go make it the best week you possibly can. Sorry about all the topsy-turvy stuff. Hopefully everything will be back to normal by next week. If you made it this far in the video and you don't mind, can you tap the like, share, follow, comment, something, one of them, all of them. If it helps me a bunch, and I appreciate you greatly. If you're looking for a private reading, just send me a message. I'll get you the details and we'll work it out. I'll never reach out to you first. If somebody does, that's not me. Okay? All right, y'all. Thank you. Whoops. There you go.